everyone. We would like to bring on Doug and Monty. Both, Monty, he contacted the show and said that he's a listener and he'd like to come on and talk to us or ask us some questions about adaptive shooting. And I thought, you know what?
We're sorry, Monty.
I thought, you know what? There's somebody that we should also get on. His name is Doug. Doug, I'm going to get you guys to introduce yourselves because you guys are freaking awesome. But we want to get you to introduce yourself with respect to what type of shooting you do, and with respect to adaptive shooting, what is the disability or basically that. So Monty, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what type of shooting you do, a little bit of history about yourself first.
Okay, so I guess first of all, my name is Monty Dalgleish, and I mainly do USPSA and 3-gun shooting. I've done a little bit of IPSC shooting years ago, and mainly just action type shooting. With respect to the adaptive part of it, I'm classed as a single leg above knee amputee because I lost my leg through the knee. So I have the rounded part of my thigh and that's it. Everything else is hardware.
Okay. Doug, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, stuff that you've been doing recently as well?
Sure. I'm Doug Blesson. I've been a member of the Canadian National Paralympic shooting team prior to London 2012. I went to the London Games and the Rio Games, and I'm aiming to make the Tokyo Games as well. I just recently got back from a week-long training camp in Germany at the beginning of February. I left the house on February the 2nd. And then after a week, I flew to Dubai for 2 weeks for a World Cup competition, and just arrived back home on the 26th or the 27th, and placed 10th in that last competition. And I missed my Paralympic spot by half a point in my very last shot. But I'm going to try again in October when I go to Australia for another World Cup. So
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Monty contacted the show. Monty, do you want to tell us why you contacted the show and asked us about doing a program or a episode about this?
Yeah, sure. So basically how the genesis of this started was I've been going to competitions both this side of the border and in the States. And I compete right alongside perfectly able-bodied competitors, which, for the most part is okay. But with the type of shooting I do, it's there's other challenges there. And thought to myself, I can't be the only one. And right. when I inquired at several matches about, okay, how can you make this fair for myself and everyone else? Kind of got the cricket thing back, or just shoot to have fun. Which sounds awesome, but I don't put the work into shooting and training and everything else just to go and have fun. So an example of what I'm kind of talking about would be one match I went to was actually run. They were one stage on split between two bays. So you had to shoot part of the stage on one bay, run over to the next shooting bay, and continue on, having to go trigger.
Can I jump in? That was a 3-gun match, right?
That was a 3-gun match. Actually, that was down in the States, this one.
Yeah.
And I had suggested, hey, time me normally when I'm in each bay, and then give me an average time for movement between the two, just to make it fair to everyone else. And I didn't get a lot of positive feedback on that.
What rule set were they running? Was it just an outlaw match, or was it a sanctioned USPSA?
No, it was an outlaw match.
Oh, yeah, that's why. They don't know how to handle that stuff. There's no provision. You ask them to think. How dare you? My God. throw them right off.
Well, that, and even I've sent out a couple messages to the USPSA and IPSC, and in their defense, I haven't heard anything back as of yet. So a lot of what I get the feeling of is it's not they don't want to make provisions or adaptations, it's they don't know how to.
Right, but it's in the rules already and has been for some time. 10.2.10 special penalty: a competitor unable to fully execute any part of a course of fire due to incapacity or injury may, prior to making his attempt at the course of fire, request that the range master apply a penalty in lieu of the stated course requirement, which is what you asked for at this 3-gun match. So if the request is approved by a range master, that's 10.2.10.1, he must state in advance of the competitor attempting the course of fire the extent of the penalty, which ranges from 1% to 20% of the competitor's points as shot to be deducted. So after you're done your course, if you scored 100 points, depending on the amount of quote unquote advantage, and obviously I'm using air quotes here, that you got by circumventing the procedure, the range master uses discretion and says, okay, well, you had a huge advantage by not stepping around this wall, so I'm going to give you the full 20. Or you literally got no advantage, so I'm not even going to give you any penalty, or I'm going to give you 1%. So this is I
kind of got that a bit when I went down and competed in the Ohio State 3-gun match last year.
Yep.
Basically, what they said was, regardless of the stage, if I couldn't do something, I would just get half a procedural penalty time-wise.
It's not a procedural though, because you're not.
And see, this is my fight. The other thing is too,
it's not a fight.
Especially on some of their jungle runs, I would time out because it's a 2-minute time maximum, and not being able to run, or not being able to run on uneven ground. Again, I would max out. I'd bust the time limit and then max out on penalties.
You're always going to run into some confusion at unsanctioned matches because they don't have a steadfast system in place like a sanctioned IPSC match with an experienced range master. Right. You should be running into zero issue at IPSC matches if the people there can read, because it's in the rule book. But the problem is you're going to need to know the rule book better than them. You're going to need to direct them, and in some cases direct the range master and explain the procedure to them, because it's like flying with a gun. The agent behind the counter doesn't do it every day, so they don't know what it is. So you need to know the rules better than they do. So
that's for sure. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly willing to do that. But I mean, even up here, when I've spoken to some pretty experienced IPSC shooters up here, I usually get the whole, they fall back on well, just come out and have fun. Don't be competitive. Well, that's why we do this.
Are they an experienced IPSC shooter, or are they an experienced IPSC official, like a range master?
Well, they're both Grand Masters.
Well, that doesn't mean they know the rules. That means they can shoot.
They're experienced shooters.
Yeah.
And part of this is that the direction I'm going to be going into is I'm going to redo my black badge again, because I've done it 3 or 4 times and have let it lapse. But I might just end up going through the whole system and becoming an RO, and then kind of forcing this issue that way.
You don't have to become an RO to force it. You just have to pull out the rule book and ask to speak to the range master. And all of this is supposed to be determined prior to your run. Not go ahead and we'll figure it out afterwards. He's got to look you in the eye and say, this is the percentage of penalty I'm giving you, and this is why. Go.
Yeah, and for the most part, I'd be fine with that. Again, though, I think it's just a matter of them not knowing. Going back to your analogy,
they totally don't know.
Ticket agents.
No,
so
totally
I don't want to be just the guy that waves his hand going, hey, there's a problem. I want to be part of that solution.
And
There
that's
is a solution there.
Oh,
and that's knowing the rule book.
yeah,
right?
knowing the rule book and the attitude that you take to it, you have to be willing to accept the fact that they don't know and they may not like being told. So it's all in your delivery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you obviously don't want to come across as somebody who's, you know, causing problems for the match officials and stuff. But here's the thing, like, if we didn't want differently abled people shooting our sport, we wouldn't have a provision for it in our rules. The provision is there to accommodate other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, usually when I do go to a match, I will days in advance send a message to the match director saying, you know, explaining that, yes, I am an adaptive shooter and trying to come up with something. And in most cases, I get we'll figure it out. Come on down. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, no problem. We're going to apply rule 10 point whatever, right? Yeah. But again, that's only if it's a sanctioned IPSC match. Right. If you're going to outlaw 3-gun matches, don't expect much.
Yeah. I mean, I got to go through the USPSA rule book as well, because I shoot that a fair amount.
Right. Well, keep in mind, USPSA is simply the American region for IPSC. IPSC has, you know, the country is referred to as the region, and in United States, you can shoot an IPSC match or you can shoot a USPSA match, but USPSA is still governed by IPSC. So the rule books are incredibly similar. So you should have no problem finding it in the USPSA rule book.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I will say that especially shooting down in the States, you know, even talking with industry companies and stuff, I've got nothing but support from a couple of very large companies that are great with it. I mean, you know, the guys at ShotStop are like, yeah, hey, come down. What do you need? How can we help you out? And it's very encouraging. I've also been to a couple of matches where I've had people, or even a practice where I've had people spectating and going, I can't do what you do because I'm disabled. Well, then I lift a pant leg up and I'm like, yeah, you think you got issues? Let's go. Right? Here's some gear. Here's some gear. I'm going to be right here with you and expose them out to the sport to get it to grow.
How do you do with stairs?
Slowly.
Okay. Because we have one prop at my ring. I don't know if you've ever looked up any of the SummerSlam from Rescue Gun Club videos. Really, really physical matches. We're running up and down stairs on the 2-story platform. We got a maze. We got a lobster boat. You may be lying in a bunk in a cabin on a lobster boat and have to come out and engage targets through the window. But probably the most challenging thing would be the prop we call the house, which is literally a 2-story platform, and the second story is 7 feet off the ground. There's like 14 steps that you have to climb to get up there. So that would be a conversation before you started that.
Right.
That stage for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not just a question of mobility. It's a question of mobility and safety.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's railings, right? But still.
No, I don't mean safety so much for me from falling, but you know, going upstairs with a firearm in your hand.
Yeah, well, you'd reholster and and draw your gun again at the top.
Yep. I mean, it's doable. It's not something you can't do.
Perfect.
Doug, why don't we bring you into the conversation?
Sure.
You have some experience, international experience as well. What is some of your advice, or what are some of your experiences that you've had to deal with, as well as advice for Monty as well, because he's trying to navigate through this?
Wow. In terms of issues that I may have had that are similar to his, is really, to be honest, next to none, because, you know, the IPC is like a huge organization. They send people ahead of time to check things out. We have different disability classes. So if, you know, they gauge your disability and they put you in one of 2 categories, and then you have within those 2 categories, different levels of disability. And there are different things that you must do or you know, can or cannot do in terms of your disability to make it like an even playing field for everybody in that particular disability class. So I really don't get any any issues in regards to my disability because I'm competing against the disabled. The interesting thing though is I'm in a wheelchair. I'm actually quadriplegic, which most people wouldn't think I am. Most people think I'm a paraplegic because I have use of my hands, but quadriplegic, I broke my C6, C7, and I sit in a wheelchair all day. And I'm in what's called the SH2 class. So SH1, SH2. So SH1 would be less disabled, SH2 more disabled. But actually Monty and I would actually compete in the same category.
Class?
Yeah,
Okay.
because, no. Let's say if Monty had an amputated arm, him and I would compete in the same disability class. So where the things that I shoot are really, there's a huge rule book. You've got to go through it all and you've got to know it all. And, but I almost never have to pull any of that out because we go through equipment checks. They know what your disability is beforehand. You're all categorized. You essentially just show up and then you shoot your match in your own category. So.
Okay. So if you're shooting against somebody else who is able-bodied,
yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are the adaptations for you?
Well, I shoot in 3 different events. I shoot in a standing event, and I'll put air quotes around that. I shoot in a prone event, and I'll put air quotes around that. And then I shoot a prone small bore event. So let's just talk about prone in particular. I have to shoot. So instead of actually laying on the ground, I actually have a table. Let me just, I think I can reach it with my headphones on. I have a table.
Okay.
This thing that I had made up custom, and it attaches to my chair. And I'm able to put my elbows on it and shoot from like shooting in a prone position like this. And if I would be shooting against somebody who has no disability, or even like Monty, he would be laying on the ground. But he would also have the option to shoot like this as well.
Okay.
And I actually shoot off a spring. So I've got like a monopod that attaches to the table. There's like this receiver in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And it sits on, it's almost like a bipod, except it has a bit of wobble to it. The spring is a very highly calibrated piece of equipment, and it's supposed to mimic the same amount of movement that the average person would have if they didn't have the disability that I have. So.
Okay. So all this equipment is it's checked, verified.
Yes.
Beforehand, right?
Every time you have to go through equipment check, it's like an entire day process for everybody who's at the event.
And you're somebody who, so when you go to these events, the people that are there, the people that are running the events, they are familiar with the rule books, they're familiar with everything, but you are also somebody who's familiar with the, the rules around your shooting as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Highly organized. I know the IPSC and the those guys. I wouldn't say it's a new sport, but it's not regulated at like the same high level as the stuff that I do. So it is. I mean, they have paid judges. They have paid equipment checkers. They fly these people all over the world. It's an international event. It's very, very. I mean, the Paralympics is the 3rd largest sporting event in the world, next to the Olympics and the World Cups of soccer. So this is a huge organization, and if everything doesn't have a rule, if there's something that doesn't have a rule, trust me, they'll make a rule for it quick.
So one of the things I wanted to know, well, we have a lot of people who are, not a lot of people, but a handful of people who are listeners or friends of the show who are adaptive shooters. They're either in wheelchairs, or there are people who have disabilities, for example, with sight. What is do you know what the percentage, or do either of you know what the percentage of participants in the sport are that actually do have some sort of disability?
If you're talking to me, everybody in my category has a disability.
Right. Okay, but I'm talking about overall. Like, for example,
I think
Canada,
you're trying to compare like the overall numbers of adaptive shooters versus non-adaptive shooters, right? So how many shooters do you guys get out to a match? Like, maybe that's a better question.
Okay, so yeah, we have about 42 different countries that came to the last one. And in my disability class, there was 3 relays and an elimination. And that was 42 competitors times 2. Yeah, so it's over 80 competitors in just one match.
Okay.
For myself, there's a bunch of other different events and classes, right? So I think there was well over 400 people there.
Okay, so that's like the Worlds, right?
It's massive, yeah.
Yeah. So Monty, how many people do you come across in events who also are adaptive shooters?
Well, at the Ohio 3-gun, there was 132 shooters, I think, and I was it.
Okay.
Up here in Canada, there's been a couple matches I've gone to where it's just been myself and maybe one other person. So it's rare, but I think part of that is people just don't know that they can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. It's like the playing field, right? It levels it out, right? If you can make some sort of adaptation, right? It doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what sex you are, it doesn't matter, like, as I said, if you can make some sort of an adaptation, everybody can go out and shoot.
Yeah, the hole in the target doesn't lie.
That's for darn sure.
Right. So what types of, like, are you seeing? One of the questions I had with respect to ranges. So what advice do you have to ranges to make it more accessible for shooters to get out there? Like, I'm assuming, Doug, you're going to a range that's pretty high tech, that is quite accessible, right?
Yeah, it's called my house.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also, there's two different issues here.
Right.
Making a range accessible and making a competitive sport adaptable.
Well, it's accessible as well. So,
yeah.
But getting people out and getting them shooting, there's going to be more people out there shooting if they're able to get to the range.
I mean, how do you make anything adaptable, or you ramps and level ground and stuff?
Well, and you say that, but what might be adaptable for Doug is actually an impediment for me. A ramp for me, going down a ramp is difficult, right? There's two ranges that I shoot at here in Ontario. One of them is Silverdale, and the other one is Urban Tactical out in Brantford. Both of them are fully wheelchair accessible. So having shooters come out, and we've had actually at Silverdale years ago, we had a gentleman who was completely quadriplegic, who we modified his wheelchair rig so he could not only shoot, but go out with someone and hunt. And for him, that was the best thing that anyone's ever done for him.
Awesome.
So the difficulty I have is always going out to change my targets, because it's always either in the dirt or gravel or sand. And sand, dirt, and gravel and wheelchairs don't mix. So I'm always asking someone to change my targets for me. So, which is not a problem. I'm used to asking for help. So all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I still RO and stuff and the same thing, but I'm not really walking the 200 yards down when I'm shooting my long guns to go change targets a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking for help. What advice do you have for somebody who maybe does have a disability but maybe wants to try out the sport?
Come out, try it out. If I'm around, like if you come out to one of the ranges I'm at and you're new, if I got time, I'll spend all day with you. I don't care. The more, the merrier.
Doug, what about you?
I would echo that. At this level, it's a little bit different. You can't just come with any gun and and I probably wouldn't let you shoot on my electronic targets because if you're not very precise, it's a few $1,000s down the drain. It's all computerized and stuff like that. But, I could very easily teach somebody to shoot 10s and shoot 10s on a regular basis if they have the motivation to come and try it out. And, with a disability, even something like traveling can be a real difficulty. You have no idea what it's like to get on a plane from a wheelchair. And when I fly to Australia next year or later in the year in October, it's a 15, 16-hour flight. Well, if you can't walk and you can't get up and stretch your legs, you prepare ahead of time. If you don't go to the bathroom unless you really, really have to, right? You prepare well ahead, all that kind of stuff. So you got to be willing to go through a little bit of discomfort to get the glory. Let's put it that way.
Do you want to show your rifle as well that you use? Yeah. It's kind of sweet.
I want to see that thing.
That is cool.
That is awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Where's the scope on it, though?
Oh, there's no scope. It's open sights.
Yeah, those are open sights. Stop.
There's no magnification in this at all. This is just a lens because I have bad eyesight.
Yeah.
And essentially just an adjustable aperture.
Yeah.
And as a front sight, let me just put this up to the camera. I'm not intending to point this at anybody, but if you can see that little circle in there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That matches up with the size of the black area on the target, which is down from a 6 to a 10. And you essentially have to hold that as still as you can and don't move anything except for your trigger finger, and you'll probably hit a 10.
I used to do the same with my archery. I would set the dot up in my scope to cover just the inside of the 10 ring and then just leave it sitting there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what does they say? So, aim small, miss small, right?
No, I don't miss. Aim small, hit small.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So Kelly, you were asking about people wanting to come out and try it, try shooting. One of the things to kind of that end is in early November, I went down to the Sig Sauer Academy and got my pistol instructor's course. Nice. It was a 5-day course. There was 17 of us in the class. 9 of us passed the shooting qual at the end, and I was the only non-law enforcement person in there, and I was the first disabled person to do it.
When did you do this?
November.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And to be honest with the instructors and everyone else, I had an absolute great time. There was some sketchy incidents, what we would term as sketchy up here, which is totally normal down there.
Okay.
Yep.
Just weird things like, when you go into the Sig Sauer Academy store, technically you're still on the range, so you can carry.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just weird.
Yeah, when I took Mag 40, we're sitting in class and all the students have a loaded gun on their hip in the classroom.
Yep.
Down in the U.S., it's, you can open carry.
Well, they don't say live free or die on their license plate for nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
You bet. Ohio, I love that state.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap things up. Any final words for anybody or any other questions that either Trevor or Adriel has?
I would also show you my small bore rifle.
Oh, yeah, bring that out.
Well, if I had it. Do you know Ryan Stacy at International Barrels?
We do.
Bet.
He's putting a new one on my small bore for me. So,
nice.
So what's that if that's not small bore?
Yeah.
This is my air rifle.
Oh.
Yes. I fill it with this tank back here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. And so I actually just open this door over here and shoot down the hall into my bedroom.
Yeah, that's why you said your house is your range.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a perfect 10 meters. And it's perfect. It works out perfectly for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Doug, when you say small bore, you mean what calibers are you shooting? 22 and 32 or
22 LR? That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for doing this and putting this together, because I know it's not just something you do winging it off the cuff on a weekly basis. So.
No, that's exactly what we do.
Yeah, you watch the show, right?
Yeah, I watch.
We've been making it up as we go for so long. We actually come off looking prepared.
It's 10 years, hasn't it been 10 years?
Wow.
I don't know. Who knows these things?
We're coming up on 300th episode.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to cheer for you as you go down to Australia, Doug, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to get it. I know this.
Yeah.
We have every faith. No pressure.
Don't drink Foster's, or they'll know you're a come from away.
I don't drink until after my competitions are over. So
good man.
All right.
Yeah. I try not to anyways. If you go to Brazil, they've got some good beers down there. And
well, it's Brazil. Come on.
Do they do testing? What happens if they find like a little alcohol in your system? Is that like a doping violation?
I'll tell you, when I went to the Paralympics in Rio, they were so lacking in the money department. At my event, there was no doping testing at all.
No.
Seriously.
Bring on the beta blockers. Slow that heart down.
Nobody knew that ahead of time, though. So
that's why you carry them with you at all times.
Yeah, right.
I thought you were a pro at this.
Yeah.
Poor planning leads to piss poor performance. You got to keep that stuff in your range bag.
Right.
No, just get someone else to piss in the cup. You got it all wrong, Trevor.
There's that too. Actually, no, Adriel, I've been involved in that at the World Cup in that, and they watch her enter the cup. There's no one can pee for you. You better not
Trust
pee.
me. I've been tested quite a few times, and they knock on your door at 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's usually already after you've gone to the bathroom.
Naturally.
Oh, yeah.
And then they got to sit around in your house for an hour or an hour and a half while you drink bottles of water.
Can you imagine being the person paid to watch somebody pee for doping?
2 hours.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable.
Worst
the
job
last
ever.
time I got doping tested, it was here at the house I believe Family Day at 6 a.m. They knocked on the door, and I had just gotten up about 10 minutes before that.
They don't tell you they're coming.
No, they can. When you're in the system, they show up whenever they want.
Yep. And they sat around in my house for 2 hours while I drank water.
I think I would totally just make absolutely uncomfortable eye contact the whole time.
Heck
Oh no, they're not like that. They're super nice.
Oh, come on. You guys can't pee on command.
Yeah.
Come on.
No. Performance
Haven't learned that
anxiety.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right, guys.
Well, yeah. On that note, let's end on P.
Let's land on P.
End on
He
something
is
classy.
gold, they say.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much, both of you, for coming on.
Thanks, guys. And Doug, I'll get a hold of you later. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Thanks for having me on.
Later.
That's the radio goodbye.
Yeah.
But I have to get my cat.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to be watching you, Doug, just to see if oh, there goes Monty. Just to see how you're doing, but keep us in the loop. Also, send us a picture of your rebarreled small bore as well, especially if it has one of the IBI barrels on it. Ryan's a friend of the show too.
Yeah, we've been doing extensive testing with it, and with multiple different ammunition manufacturers and things like that.
Because you went to Germany to test out ammo too, right?
I did. I only tested for my air rifle at the time, but I do have a bunch of different lots from Lapua Midas Plus. I've got a bunch of Center X. I've been shooting 4 different lots from Ely 10X, and I have some RWS R50, and do I have anything else?
So,
all the expensive stuff, yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Are you a sponsored shooter? Because I know that some,
No, I got to pay for all of that. Yeah,
that's wrong.
Well, I can't really complain. I have to buy what's the gun issues in Canada right now? They're trying to take everything away from us. But the funniest thing I think is that they actually pay me to shoot for Canada.
That's ironic. Yep.
Yeah. But I do have to buy my own equipment, all my ammunition, all my hardware.
Move to Quebec, you'll get paid to train. Alberta.
Actually, I get paid.
to pay you to train?
I do get paid.
Okay. You're
part
on
of the
program,
carding system, right? So
yep. Oh, that's right. You'd be carded because you're going to Paralympics. Yeah.
Yeah, at the elite level, you do get some money on every 2 months. So
right. No, I was just wondering because I know Linda, who's a shooter,
the pistol shooter.
Yep. And also, I don't know. Do you know Mary Patrick?
I've probably met her, but I don't know her.
Yeah, she's looking at going to the next Olympics, Tokyo as well. So
awesome.
But yeah, I think you know what? I think that all of our sports, our athletes are not supported as much as they should be.
I agree.
But especially shooting. So
yeah, there is one good thing that the Liberal government did, and we're going to get into politics a little bit.
No.
Sorry.
Don't go there.
They actually raised the carding money by 12%, and they opened up a few other programs that weren't available to athletes unless they were won a medal. So a couple of other, like they have if you have children, they give you some extra money. If you have a more severe disability, which I fall into that class, you get a little bit of extra money. And then that 12% raise in the carding money was really helpful. As a matter of fact, it allowed me to quit my job, and all I do, my job is shooting now.
Okay, that's what
and my wife, my wife is the breadwinner in this house for sure, and supports me huge. So, and you know, when I go away for a month and things like that, she's running the house and doing the single mom thing while I'm away, and
yeah,
it's a huge burden, but also it's worth it to do what I do. So.
Well, thank you for representing us. I know that you do a great job of it as well, and you're a friend of Maple Seed, so you know what? Yeah. You're one of my favorites.
Well, when you guys have the next one out here on the West Coast, just let me know. I'll come out and help. My kid's getting into the Rimfire PRS, so he's gonna come out. He'll come out as well. And
well, Rick's gonna be out there with the Rimfire PRS.
Cool.
So he's gonna piggyback it with the Maple Seed as well. So yeah. So
awesome. If you want help or
yeah, Rick would love to have some help with that.
Feel free to give me a ring.
Okay, I'll send you the dates when we're out in BC.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you.
Later, man.
Bye.
He's cool. I like him.
Did he get his Maple Seed patch?
Not yet. He will though.
Oh, I was just joking. He doesn't have one yet.
An Olympian
Olympic shooter.
Oh,
yeah, he shoots. He does shoot the monthly challenges though. So
I just rocks them. Yeah,
he just rocks them. Yeah, he does.
You had an Olympian take a Maple Seed and didn't get a patch.
He hasn't taken a Maple Seed yet.
Oh, well, that's why he doesn't have his rifleman.
He hasn't been available when we been out in BC, so that's why he wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought he actually went to a Maple Seed and didn't get a patch.
No, I wouldn't assume that. He seems fairly proficient at shooting.
Yeah, super nice guy too. Yep. We have actually a lot of listeners who are either in what's this?
I'm waving to the mini snaps.
Oh,
I just got a text. Mini snaps wanted a Trevor wave, but so I'm not singing. Why are you guys waving? Nobody texted you guys. Calm down. That was me.
This is my thunder. Come on,
you're
waving. The listener. We're adding in.
Fine.
By the way, you know, James, I've added your email to the list.
The last one? The most recent one?
I don't know. It was like yesterday or the day before.
No, he sent another one today.
No, I didn't add that then.
Somebody helped him with the big words. All right, why don't we start the show?
Yeah, why don't we get started on the show?
All right, let's do that then.
Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is
just like that. You
294.
You know what? 294 means that we're really close to 300. That's 6 episodes. We need to figure that out.
Getting closer. 294.
It's like when I turned 40, Kelly. It's just another day.
That was a long time ago, though.
Kelly, do you want to play the age game? No. Okay.
Okay, let me finish let me wrap this thing up here. For March 7th, 2019, I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
Am I next? Yes.
Yes.
I'm another one, Trevor.
There we go.
And I'm another one, Kelly. Hi.
Oh, we made it.
Just screwing it up.
Maybe by 300 we'll get it right.
Now?
Maybe. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably need another 300.
For sure.
Why don't we talk about what we did in guns? What we did in guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. What do they got, Trevor?
All the Remington shotguns. They got them all. If you go to their website right now, they have a complete list of all the coolest Remington 870 shotguns you can buy right now. They got the 200th. We think we're a big deal because we're coming on 300 episodes. They've been around for 200 years. So they've got an 870 200th year anniversary commemorative edition.
They've been around as long as you have.
You are like 12 years older than I am. They have they got the hardwood pump with the detachable mag, and I found the one I want. Remember a couple of weeks ago we were looking at those Dominion Arms little shorty shotguns with the pistol grips that are mag fed. Remington's making one.
Seriously?
Yep, it's 14-inch with a pistol grip.
It's not a 200th anniversary though, right?
No.
I'm going.
That was all fancy pants. That one just looks like a fancy Wingmaster, right? But this one's short 14-inch tactical pump detachable mag. But someone can tell me if the Dominion Arms pump action little grizzly things use the USCON AS46 mag, well, I'm in.
You're
right?
Good.
Yeah, because I don't know how many rounds does the 870 mags take. Anybody know?
Nope.
No, I know the Magpul ones because they've got like a bunch of them, and the biggest one is 20.
You mean Mossberg?
Yeah, Mossberg.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous big.
You got Magpul on the brain.
Anyway, they've got a full page of every kind of configuration of 870 shotgun you can think of. They got the cool looking 870 police one. I like that. They got the old school police, and then they got the police with the extended magazine tube. They got the police synthetic. They got the one they actually call the home defense. They got the tactical ones. They got the pistol grip ones. They got the Magpul ones. It's quite an assortment. So if you've been shopping around for an 870 or thinking about an 870, head on over to the Calgary Shooting Center and tell them Slamfire sent you, and you need an 870 in your life.
Cool.
Calgary Shooting Center, I need an 870 in my life. Does that work?
No, because see, you're actually not there right now. You're here with us still. The early onset of Alzheimer's is a tragic thing. It really is.
Hey, Jeff. Jeff.
All right, cool. If you're looking for an 870, go check out Calgary Shooting Center. Trevor, did you want to start off with what you did in guns this week?
Yes. So, as a lot of the listeners know, I'm a match director for the Rescue Gun Club. So that means I plan and put on matches. And one of the components of planning a match is designing the stages. And those stages, typically, you draw them on some kind of computer program. Recently, SketchUp has become really popular with match directors because it's a 3-dimensional drawing software, so you can actually put your targets out there in an actual scaled down distance from where the fault lines would be and all this stuff. It's really cool, but you got to be Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton had a love child, and that person still wouldn't be smart enough to figure out SketchUp. So
or just graduated in the last 10 years of
or call Adriel.
What? No, I'm not that good at it, but kids these days play with this, like with design software and 3D modeling and that kind of thing. So,
kids without jobs and responsibilities.
Okay, or call Adriel's kids.
No, screw that. Buy a product called 3D Stage Design.
Oh,
if you're like me, and some people draw them on paper. They draw their stages on paper like homeless people and hobos. Anyway, that's fine. That's even less computer skills than I have. I use a software, but it's not the software that I use is not cool. It's not 3D. But what 3D Stage Design is actual scaled down miniature 3D printed props, target stands, barrels, fault lines, walls, the feet for the walls, the barrels, the steel poppers, the steel plates, you name it. If you Texas Stars plate racks, if you can use it in a match, this dude is 3D printing it. So if you go to their Facebook page, 3D Stage Design, and you look at the map where he sold these kits, I bought the first one in Canada.
Well, I was going to ask, did you buy the first one in Canada?
I did. I bought 2 of the Master Designer kits. One was probably enough, but everything's a contest, so I bought 2. So these things are so cool, man. Like, you even take this little Lego dude. It's like the little guy from the Lego set. He's your shooter. And so what you do...
You situate him.
Yes. So rather than designing your stages on computer and then posting them to the internet, or when you have a level 3 or higher match, your match needs to be approved and your stages need to be approved by IPSC World. So you submit your stages for review in order to get your sanctioning and your level 3 approval. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm actually there's some. I'm concerned. I went over this with the regional director, and he's a little apprehensive. He said they don't, they're kind of old school. They may not like this. You may have to submit drawings along with these. I'm like, no. This. If I do that, it defeats the whole purpose of spending what I spent on these kits.
The future is now.
The future is now, and it's not computer. Damn it! It's toys. It's Lego. I'm gonna have like GI Joes running my stages with these things. Anyway, so yeah. So rather than draw on paper, you actually take these props, these 3D printed, scaled down miniatures, and you lay them out on the table, and you build your stage right there in your kitchen table.
Take a picture with your phone, and
you got it. Take a picture, and then you submit your. Now you take a picture, and then you copy and paste that picture onto your stage description, and then you save that like you would all your other stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah, convert it to PDF and submit it for approval.
Why wouldn't they like that?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We'll wait and see. I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't like it. It's actually better than any hand drawing. It's better than a 2-dimensional drawing, and it's better than a 3D drawing because I can take bird's eye view photographs. I can take straight down range photographs. I can see all my angles. Like while I'm building this, if I got a shoot through, I'll see if I have a shoot through. I'll see if I need more walls to prevent from seeing targets from one location more than I'm supposed to, that sort of thing. So, yeah. So anyway, it just cleared customs today. And
you haven't gotten it yet.
No, I should have it next week sometime. So there'll be lots of pictures. And I've asked the creator of this product to come on the show. So in a couple of weeks, hopefully, I know we got some interviews lined up back to back. Hopefully we'll get them on. We'll get them on here soon. And of course, we got to plan something big for 300. So.
Cool.
Yep. Doing lots of reloading. I don't know. Did I talk about how I bought the collet puller to take apart the 40 ammo, but the collet puller didn't work?
Mm-hmm. And
okay.
You use the hammer.
I've been. What's that, Kelly?
Yep. Go ahead.
I've been using the hammer, and so what I've done is that brass is already primed, so I just removed the decapping pin from my resizing die, threw that prime brass back into the case feeder, and I'm throwing it all back together. I've only pulled 200 so far, though. I probably got like 200 left to go. So last weekend, I went to Fredericton to visit Filthy, and then Filthy and the Squire and Mini-Me, not Filthy's Mini-Me, my Mini-Me, Paul Lombard from the CCFR. We went to Larry Shriver's range. So Larry and some guys opened up a new range outside of Fredericton. Larry's also the treasurer for IPSC New Brunswick. And he put on a little miniature steel challenge match, which was a heck of a lot of fun. We had some new shooters out there that are all kitted up for IPSC, but don't have their black badge yet. So they're getting some practice and some help along the way. So they'll be more than ready when the black badge course comes out. And I went and I shot it with my PCC. It's ridiculous how fast it is.
Funny.
Look, Kelly, I was getting sub 3-second times.
Serious?
My best run on 5 plates was 2.6.
What are you running on the Steel Challenge that's going to be happening in June?
Well, Hard to say, Kelly, because I've got to switch back to pistol because I'm on the pistol team, the classic team for the Nationals.
Yeah.
So I will probably screw it. No, I'm going to shoot PCC. It's just so fast.
It's fun, eh?
Oh, it is fun. Like, I mean, with your pistol, you start in the surrender position. You go down, you draw your pistol, and you got to shoot 5 plates. And we're really happy when we're under 4 seconds, you know, with a pistol. But the best shooters in the world are under 3 seconds. So here I was doing it with my PCC and my stock PCC. I don't have a good trigger in it yet. I still have a 7-pound trigger. I don't have a muzzle brake, and I was doing sub 3 second runs once in a while. I knew I had a 2.5 second run in me somewhere. The timer was too far away from the gun at one time, and that could have been it. I don't know. I think did I share the video with you guys?
Yes, I saw a video at least. Maybe it was on Instagram.
No, I didn't post it anywhere. I just shared it privately. So
anyway. Share it again.
Yeah, all right. I'll share it with you guys later. So it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And then I picked up my M14. Where's my M14? Well,
you have an M14?
No, well, you know, I don't have an actual M14, and I don't have a M1A. But what I do have is a Norinco. It says M14 on it. Yeah. It does say M14 on it, though, Adriel. It doesn't say M305. So, yes, I have an M14. What's cool about this M14 is Filthy's buddy and now buddy of mine, Chris Bay. He's a tank mechanic by day and gunsmith by night. And he built my Garand, and he accurized this. And after he accurized it, then I went and threw it in a Springfield M14 stock that Filthy gave me. You can see the Springfield cartouche there up on this stock. And there's some other cool markings on this stock, and the stock is roached and beat up and split in the back, and that's just how I like it. I'm gonna get the dummy selector to go in there to make it look, you know, for real M14. But when I threw it into this stock and took it to the range that day that I went to that milsurp shoot in October, and then came home and sold most of my milsurps, the accuracy had fallen off. This gun was really accurate before the accuracy work. It was even better after the accuracy work. And then I dropped it in this stock, and 2 problems. 1, the accuracy had fallen off, and 2, it didn't always cycle reliably. Well, I left it in Fredericton and asked the guy who accurized it the first time to bed the stock, and he didn't need to bed the stock. What happened was there was just contact with the op rod and some other part. The gas cylinder was contacting the wood, and the op rod was contacting the wood. So that explains why I lost some accuracy. And the op rod contacting the wood caused some drag, which is what causes it to like short stroke and not cycle correctly. So, and I picked up one of these AIA type magazines for it. So that's good. I'm glad I've got that. And oops. So I got that back home. What else have I been up to? Back to the show notes. Oh, while I was in Fredericton, Larry was like, hey, we're right around the corner from the gun dealer. So the gun dealer is in Macadam, New Brunswick, and it is the largest gun dealer, gun store in Eastern Canada. He has more guns in stock than anybody in this part of the country. You'd have to go somewhere in Ontario to find somebody with more inventory than him. So we walk in, and there is a Lee Enfield in and among his used guns, full wood. I'm like, ooh, full wood Lee Enfield. I pick it up. It's a long branch. I'm like, oh, sweet. A full wood long branch. How much? $650. $650 for a long branch. What the heck? Only problem was the original sight had been removed, and they had put on a Lyman adjustable peep sight. So I wasn't really keen on that, but I thought, well, they wouldn't have done that unless the gun was, you know, accurate and worthwhile. I got the gun home and removed the wood to clean it. Underneath the wood, the metal was absolutely pristine. The parkerizing was immaculate. I don't think the wood was ever off of that gun.
Very interesting.
The bore was filthy. I finally got it clean, and the bore is like, I'm not going to say it's pristine, but it's in incredible condition. Strong rifling, nice and shiny. The gun's got lots of potential. The only problem is they drilled the receiver to put this rear peep scent on. Now they drilled and tapped one hole. They started to drill the other hole, didn't finish. They didn't go all the way through. They went in kind of crooked. So the hole is, I'll send you guys pictures of that too. So Denis at the DC Armory had some Lee Enfield parts in stock, and he had a period correct sight. So I decided, I couldn't figure out what I was going to do. Was I going to finish drilling and tapping that second hole and screw that sight on correctly and just live with the target sight? Or was I going to plug those holes and have the receiver reparkerized? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm off to Captain Andy's this weekend. We're going to drill those holes out, plug them with some steel rod, and then blend it and drop it in the parkerizing tank when I get home. So I'm looking forward to that. The wood is hard shape, but it does have the Canadian approval stamp, like the Broad C on the wrist of the grip. It has the original cleaning pull-through cleaning rope in there, but not the oiler. But I've got an oiler lined up. I had a receiver cover. There's a listener last year sometime mailed me a whole care package of Milsurp stuff, and there was a receiver cover in there that was a Canadian receiver cover, so that now lives on my Long Branch. Big shout out to Mike Pospolita. He had a Savage marked receiver cover, which I put on my Savage Lee Enfield, and in that box.
I think Trevor's ran out of.
He ran out of energy. Yeah, he's stuck.
Oh, that's awesome. Right in the middle. That's
a goodie.
Well,
that's a great face.
Am I back?
Yeah. In the box. There's another thing in the box.
The computer is acting weird. It needs to restart because of updates and the fan's coming on and stuff. So I think I froze when the fan came on.
Yep.
Anyway, in the box was some Enfield slings. So now it's got a blue sling, and I don't know if that was Navy or Air Force, but anyway, I've got a sling for that Long Branch. So it's going to look good when it's all put back together. So I didn't have $650 on me, but what I did have was my NEA AR-15 that I built over the winter. The one that I got the sweet deal on the barrel from Maple Ridge Armory, the one that Denise Cerakoted. Yeah, I built this thing up. It was so sweet. But I got a lot of the stuff at a really good deal from Denise, so I didn't have a whole lot in it. And a Long Branch typically costs more than $650, and this one's in really good shape. The only thing was that sight. That's what, the price was marked down because of that. So, but I know people who can fix these things, so I traded the NEA for it straight up.
Yep.
I spent most of the day at the shop yesterday, making fun of the new guy and working with Denis.
You got a new employee, do you?
Not me, Denis. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, somebody came in and I was wearing my DC Armory clothing. I had my kind of like, not a hoodie, but anyway, he gave me this nice thing for Christmas, says DC Armory on it, and I had my DC Armory hat. And one of the guys comes in, he's like, Trevor, you working here? I said, well, I used to be, but this prick took my job. Poor new guy. But yeah.
Does he speak French?
Oh, of course he speaks French. Yeah, everybody around here.
Good.
Yeah.
Does he have a pal?
Yeah, he's got a pal, and he's waiting for our pal to come in. He already took the test and stuff. So yeah,
all the ticky boxes.
Yeah, he's all sorted out, and he's big into reloading and stuff. He's going to learn more about IPSC and handguns, but he's got all the other bases covered. So he's a tremendous asset to the shop as far as I'm concerned. So
excellent.
Yeah, but I was still able to poke around there yesterday, and I did a couple of small jobs for Denis, so that was a lot of fun. It was good to be back in there. I hadn't been back in there since it's been literally probably 2 months. So I've been in there to buy stuff, but not to do any work. So that was cool. And then today my X-Metal order arrived. So huge shout out to Snuffy. He met me at Muffin's work, and we loaded it all into my truck and into his car and took it home and put it away and started contacting people to tell them their stuff was in. And
you know what? You have to admit you have some pretty good friends.
Oh, you have no idea. Oh, they are way better friends to me than I am to them. I will be the first to admit it. It seems like they never ask me for anything, but they're always there when I need them. It's pretty sweet. So
the better Trevor.
No, the other Trevor, he was off doing
Trevor.
like work stuff or whatever, so he didn't earn any points today. But he did. Yep. So he played with my head though, right? Just as we're starting to load the truck, I get a text from other Trevor, and he says, "Your order come in yet?" I'm like, oh, sweet. He's not working. He's gonna come help. I'm like, yeah, man, we're at Jason's right now, loading it up. Okay. That's all I heard. Yeah, that's it. Thanks. Thanks for getting my hopes up. It was awesome. So, yeah. All right. That's all I got. How about you, Adriel?
Let's see here. I went to Pistol Night on Saturday at Phoenix. That's good. I saw 2 listeners there, actually. There was Ted M., who you guys trained at the Ferlacci course.
Okay.
Let's see here. And Tom O. And
he's one of my favorites, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we squatted together, which is kind of cool.
Serious.
And shot, and they're both going to the CRPS match at Chaz. So we talked CRPS and pistols, and the time just flew.
So you've met Tom, and I have not. But I've talked to him lots.
Several times. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. The match itself was all right. I did pretty good, and then on the last stage, one of the guys was talking. They're like, "Yeah, on a stage like this, you need lots of points." I'm like, that guy knows more than I do. So I'm gonna take my time on this one and like really get my hits, and I did. And then that was my worst stage by far.
Okay.
My other ones were all like pretty consistently good, and like that one was like, oh. Yeah, I got my hits, but it was like it didn't feel any slower than normal, but it was. I was taking too much time. And I should have pushed myself a little bit more, but whatever. It was fun.
You were taking time to get the shot off, right, and get it on target instead of just shooting instinctually.
Yes, and just flinging them away, kind of a thing. That's usually how I usually shoot. Is usually I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next, and I'm thinking about my targets and my foot placement and that kind of thing. And the shooting is doing itself. That's like, you're driving on the highway and you like signal and turn, that kind of thing, and you don't have to think about it. That's
muscle memory.
That's called bubble.
Bubble. Mm-hmm.
Right? You're good at it. You're a good shooter. Just do it.
Well, it helps if you don't think a lot and you just like and you can just zone out. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that was cool. I ordered a couple of XCR mags from SFRC for my BCL 102, so got a couple of those. I had to update so Trevor, you were asking me the other day, like, how do you set up payments on Practice Score?
We need to do that.
Yeah, and I would have given you bad advice last time because we opened 2 of our matches, and one went okay, and then the other one was under so much demand that our process was awful, absolutely awful.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And 100% my fault. We, it was awful. Anyways,
okay,
fixed it. So
good.
Now the process is going to be much better. Practice Score. There's like you can approve and then pay, or you can just pay at registration, and now I've just set it up. Just pay at registration.
Oh, really?
I don't wanna do this approval thing. Yeah, because the approval thing, you have to end up chasing people for money.
Yep.
You do approval, it goes up until it's registered. IPSC does this. You wait a week, and then you're like, "Hey, can you please pay us?" And you got to wait a little bit, and you got to check who didn't pay. This person didn't pay. Okay, cut them out. Open it up. Who's next on the wait list? Get some money from them. Chase them for money.
Oh, that's bullcrap. Just set it up so that they pay, and if they don't pay, they're not in.
Well, yeah, that's what we tried doing. We're saying like first paid, first in.
Right.
But if you do that with an approval process as well, it is a disaster. It is confusing and a mess.
I go in and I manually approve them when I get their EMT. So I had 200 spots. Mm-hmm. The first 200 people that registered got them. Yep. And then I emailed them all and said, now I need your money or you don't have a spot. So EMTs start pouring in. So I get an EMT from Adriel. I go approve Adriel. A couple of weeks go by. Kelly, I'm holding a spot for you and I got no money. Are you coming or not? Because that'd
be a no.
Oh,
Yep,
my
so.
brother paid. It's probably under his name. Oh my God. Like, yeah, that it's always a mess trying to link those up as well.
Well, I learned over the years, I ignore everything unless it comes directly to the gun club email. If you send me an email to my work email thinking you're jumping the queue, I delete those emails.
Mm-hmm.
I only do Rescuers Gun Club business through the Rescuers Gun Club email, because otherwise it's exactly what you said. Oh, I sent it to your work email. Oh, I Facebooked you. I'm not keeping track of 5 or 6 different platforms.
Yeah.
No, it's club business, club email.
Yeah. Anyways, the process we're using now is you register, and you have to pay when you register on Practice Score. That's the only way you register. Everything else is automated. There is no approvals. As soon as you've paid and you're in, and all those spots go. And the problem is, like, right now, our 3-gun club is just we've just got too much demand. This is like the IPSC problem in Ontario and some of the other more popular places, right, where you open a match up and it closes in minutes, right?
Or like 30 seconds,
yeah. So we need a process that like works with that, and that's the hard part. Last year, I was thinking about this, like, man, this is not how last year went, and I went back and I looked at it, and it took us like 2 months to fill this one big match last year, and this year it was like it opened and it was closed. And anyways, pay at register. Now, if you do that with Practice Score, there's no wait list. You can't have pay at register and waitlisting.
I don't have waitlist.
Yeah. Well, we're just going to go with no waitlist.
Yeah.
It's it doesn't really make a lot of sense when you do pay at register anyways, because you think about it, pay at register, and then what?
And then people don't show up.
Does that? Well, no, like the then what for the wait list, right? So let's say one person says, I want to withdraw, and you're like, cool. You give them their money back. Now, who gets that next spot? How do you notify the next spot? Do you notify the 20 people on the wait list, hey, there's one spot? Or do you notify the next person in the wait list, hey, there's a spot? So like that has to be configured somewhere. And Practice Score, I don't think they've done it, because you can't have both of those things. You can't have pay at register and a wait list. So that's where we're going. Pay at register. had to do some testing with that to figure it out. And then your people who get a free match, like your ROs or whatever, if you do that, you just send them a special code and they get in anytime that you want to, kind of a thing.
Right.
Let's see here. I got some Dawson sights for my Nork and my GSG. Meh. They're Dawson sights.
Front and rear?
Yes. The rear is just the blacked out
Novak
ramp. Yeah, and the front one is fiber.
And that's the right height?
I don't know yet. This is the GSG set that Dawson sells, so it should be the right height.
Perfect. It's specific to that gun.
It's specific to the gun, and it comes with a lot of little cool tools and that kind of thing. They bring like a little aluminum punch. Yeah. They have a nylon one, because some of these parts here might get screwed up. Hit them with an aluminum one.
Aluminum. Yep.
They come with gun oil, and they're like, hey, these are steel sights. You might want to oil them, because,
Holy, that's something new they're doing.
Yeah.
I've been buying Dawson sights for years. All I ever get's a stupid little punch.
They come with a couple of extra fibers. In there
they do
too.
that.
Just after I ordered a whole bunch. Now I'm all flush with this stuff.
It's funny.
Yeah. So I'll try that out some other time.
You going out this weekend?
I am, but not to the range, so I won't be able to take any restricteds.
Adriel, when you're done, I got something I forgot, okay?
Okay. I got my ETS Glock mags. They came in from Aztec Armory. Right here. They're clear. I put my base plates on. These are my my Glock base plates, because the whole idea here is I'm going to use them with the Glock with the big mag. Well, you need a base plate to be able to put them in. They don't drop free though, so I'm gonna see where they're kind of holding up and see what I need to do to make them drop free. That's a pretty normal thing with mags, is to screw around with them and see what you need to make them to drop free. So now it's between that and the Shadow with the magwell. I don't really know which one I want to run yet, but I'll take them both to the range and try them out. Yeah. Most of the time that I've been spending right now has been prepping for this Epic 22 LR test that I want to do. Like I've mentioned it a couple of times in the show. I've got 52 different types of ammo, and I've got about a dozen more weirder kinds of ammo on the way. That'll just add into the test. So I think I'm going to bump it back to 50 yards with some at 100. So most of them at 50 yards.
Okay.
Tested times 3 rifles for most of the ammo. But what else did I do? I'm going to do this out at my parents' place because we got a little bit of space out there, and I don't have to wait for people to like set up targets. And I'm going to set up my own target, like a target line. So I've got I'm stealing this idea off you guys for Maple Seed. I've got a couple of those stake-in plant holder kind of things from the dollar store and a bunch of line. So I'm going to make a target line with a whole bunch of targets on it with clothesline clips on them.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Shooting table.
To go along.
Yeah, I've got an anemometer, a wind meter, one of them things to check for wind. Because after I'm going to do this test, I'd like to just do some long range shooting. So I want to try shooting 22 out to 300 as far as I can go, basically. I'm going to try doing that. Yeah.
425.
425? 500?
Yeah, that's 500? No, 425. That's the one that they're going to. That's the
challenge one.
Yeah.
What else I got? So Tommy, who's a friend of the show, he borrowed
Mr. Uzi.
Mr. Uzi. He borrowed me his Magneto Speed.
Borrowed you, did he?
I was going to say, what is borrowed?
Thank you, school teacher, for grammarizing me.
Hey, Jewel might be listening.
He lent me his Magneto Speed to test out and get speeds on. And then I talked to Tom O, who at that match, and he's going to borrow me his...
Even I know that's wrong.
He's going to lend me his shooting crony and lab radar. Sweet. So at the same time as I'm doing all this, I'll be able to get lots and lots of data and be able to compare some of the cronies out there.
I just read the last thing that you put.
What's that?
Nothing. I just read the last thing that you put.
And then I finally mailed some patches and stickers out to you guys.
Nice.
You said begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly, yeah. No, not begrudgingly. Finally got around to it. Anyways, those are in the mail.
Excellent, thanks.
The check's in the mail. And I'm really looking forward to this 22 test. I'm hoping that the weather's good on Sunday, and because I'm going to need
at least
4 hours of just shooting. Yeah, so it's going to be a long day.
Yep.
Long day, lots of ammo. I shouldn't have done this. I calculated the cost of it, and it's right around right around $500 to $600 worth of ammo.
Wow.
That's a lot of 22 ammo.
That is.
Could you imagine being like, you know what? I'm going to buy $500 worth of 22 ammo. I'm going to go shoot it. I'm going to go shoot that $500 of 22 ammo.
That's 4 hours worth of shooting.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's not longer because it'll get really long. Anyways, that's what I've been up to. Kelly, what about you?
Hold on. I got to go back.
Oh, yeah. Kevin, sorry. Yeah, Trevor.
Right. Check this out, Adriel. So this is my FX9. And look what I put on the front of it. And I hope Derek's watching.
Oh, yeah, you showed this before the show.
Freaking laser beams, Derek. I'm coming for you.
No, it's laser.
Laser beams, Derek. I can't get you to see a PCC match by freaking laser beams.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Does a laser beam put you in a different class? Where do
no, man, there's no class or division. Classes A, B,
Are they
C,
useful?
D.
Are they good?
It's a laser, Adriel.
Could you I'm asking because I don't know.
Dude, you can
could you put your gun around a corner?
Yes, it's been done. No, but what was done, Adriel? Guy didn't want to go prone, right? So he just stuck the gun through the low port.
No way.
Yes way.
Oh man, there's so many ways you could break a stage doing this.
Right?
Oh.
So the start position for PCC is this.
Yeah.
With the butt on the hip and the barrel or the muzzle parallel to the range floor. Well, you turn the freaking laser on, you put it on the first target and just go pop, pop, right? Just light it up from the hip. Bang bang. And then continue. Yep, I'm excited.
I love how gamer that is. Now you need a crisp single stage trigger on that thing so you can really roll the targets and
Yeah, I have a factory 7-pound trigger.
Now, if you shoot from the hip with the laser on and you've got like a really big close array, you could just bump.
Yep.
bump
why shoulder it? You don't have to shoulder it. Just leave it on your hip.
Well, if like you're really close, day Lucas McCain, the rifleman there.
But with lasers, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, good lord. Okay, never mind.
All right, there you go. So the thing is, though, Adriel, when you shoulder the rifle, you still have to look through the optic. And when you're looking through the optic, I don't know if other people have this experience, but I can't tell that that's not the red dot from my optic.
Oh.
If I take my head away from the rifle, obviously I can tell the red dot is a laser. But when I'm looking through the optic, it's no different than if I was...
So just ditch the optic, get a set of rings, and put like a toilet paper tube on top there, and save yourself some money. You don't need a red dot. It's not doing anything. See a circle.
Yep, just a tube. Just a tube. Yep. So now let's calm down. Take a step back here. Next match, I will go bug Captain Andy and ask him to bring me to Nat Chucks. It's not Nan Chucks. I've been corrected so many times, and he's actually he's over it. Like if I say Nan Chucks one more time, he's gonna stop listening to Slamflyer. So Nat Chucks, we'll go there and zero this thing, right, and see what that's like. And
at different, try to do different ranges and try to do the gun sideways. Because with that laser on the bottom, that offset, you might get a different impact. And just knowing it would be really useful, because then if you have to make that shot under a port and you have to throw it on its side, you'll know whether it's hitting that side or what's going on.
Yeah, right? That's good. Yeah, that's interesting. I will play. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? Like in the movies, I'm gonna go for a kill shot, right? And I'll hold it sideways like this. Just like that.
Well, the thing is with the I didn't even think about that. With the laser, you can just there's so many weird spots where you could move, or you could just dangle the gun around the corner and shoot it one-handed.
Yeah. Low ports, I'm gonna spank them. No more low ports. And the match director, the last match, told me he saw a guy do it. He didn't want to go down crouching through the port. He stuck the gun through the port and looked at the laser on the target and lit it up.
Oh, brilliant.
Yep. All right. So thank you for that. I thought that was worthwhile.
That's good for old people like you.
Kelly, you're in your 50s.
Shut up.
Stop it.
All right. So what did I do this week in guns? I went to SFRC on Saturday, chatted up with them about some ammo. And it's Saturday, so I went to SFRC. I also, on Saturday, went to Napanee Rod and Gun Club. I didn't go to the actual gun club, but I went to their conservation dinner, which they hold every year. It's in support of their youth program. So I went out and had prime rib dinner, and there was a whole bunch of guns there and all kinds of really, really cool things, and I didn't win a thing. It was kind of depressing, but it was still fun. I got to chat with some people. Again, the people from SFRC, because they were there. Next year, we're going to make sure we're sitting at the right table together, though, because I was sitting at a table where I didn't know anybody. And the next day, which is Sunday, I went to the Belleville Gun Show, and we were at the CCFR booth, and I worked the table with some new FOs, and it was good because I got to see everybody that was at the Napanee Conservation Dinner the night before. I got to see them at the gun show. It was awesome. And what else did I do? Oh, I met with Kelly Kincaid, so Kelly Square. I met with her. We're meeting up once a week or twice a week, whatever. And we met up and talked about some events that are coming up, like the Toronto Sportsman Show and TACCOM and some other things that are going to be going on. So we chatted about that. And then I also signed up for a Steel Challenge that's going to be happening at my range next month. And what else?
Kind of Steel Challenge.
It's an outlaw one. It's not really the Steel Challenge that you do. So it's going to be a fun shoot, basically.
Kind of divisions, like everything, pistol, rifle, nope. 22. Nope.
Just pistol, no 22 rifle, and no PP or no pistol carbines either. So I was hoping, but no, it's just pistol. So I'll go shoot that. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to say is that with Maple Seed, we have a new sponsor on board. Gravel is on board, and they sent us a couple of rifles.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was nice. And they also sent us a couple of cases of Remington bucket of bullets. So having to carry those up and down the stairs, it was great. Awesome.
Oh, don't even start. You sound like Tracy Wilson complaining about the snow in Ottawa.
Snow. But it was, yeah, Gravel's on board, and I just wanted to say thank you to them because they're pretty awesome.
I found an interesting thing about Gravel. They have an e-commerce store, and they sell some stuff direct.
Yeah, they do. Some stuff, not everything. So
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, though.
Yep. Some good people working at Gravel. They've always supported the gun community, though. So if anybody does have an opportunity to go out and buy their stuff, they sell Marlins. They're Marlins.
Yeah, but they're not a retailer. They're a wholesaler. So you can't.
No, they're not.
Also
but
sell.
They do sell some stuff. So just want to let you know that they're one of our new sponsors for 2019.
Amazing.
Yep. Okay. That's it.
All right, want to get into the news. Nova Tactical. Did you want to talk about this one, Kelly? I think you added this one here.
Yeah, I posted this one here. Just that, I don't know. Were you guys aware that there were some issues at Nova Tactical recently with somebody got hurt?
Yeah. So the head range master over there, we've had on the show.
Yep, we have.
Yeah, he was on the show when he was the president of the UNB Firearms Club. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we spoke on the phone yesterday about this incident. It's very tragic.
Yeah, I don't know what the stuff that was in the news was very
wrong.
Oh no, there's nothing in it. It just said that there was something that happened that the police came. So I don't know. I don't know if I should be listening to some of the fodder that's on, some of the gun pages, but do you have a little bit more information, or do you want to talk about it at all?
No, not going to share anything that him and I talked about. I'll just tell you, like I said, the media is wrong, and they're always wrong.
Great.
So,
yeah, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just to let you know that there was an incident at Nova Tactical. That's all. And hopefully that whoever was injured is healing from it and doing well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. On to new gun stuff. Magdump has Typhoon F12s for $950, which I think is cheaper than they usually are.
Yeah,
seems
a little bit.
Seems like they're right around $1,000, so $950 is a bit cheaper.
Or you could be a host on Slamfire Radio and have your drunk co-host ask for one for free for you and your friends.
And that's an option too.
Yeah, that's how you really get things done.
Yeah.
Hey.
Start a podcast, get a drunken Kelly.
I wasn't drunken. I was on the way.
You're my way. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Yeah.
Yes, you got results, Kelly.
Yeah.
Unorthodox, but you got results.
He said, if you want anything.
That's right. Yeah, let me know if I can help you guys out. Give us guns. All right.
Yeah. Sweet. iRun Guns has, and I think these have been in the country, but not at this, not even close to this price. This would only really be for some people. The Keltec PMR 30. This is their 22 Magnum pistol. iRun Guns has them in country for $399 US, which is $532 Canadian. They have been in country, but they've been like closer to $700, which is pretty pricey for a plastic 22.
It's a Keltec, and it's a 22.
It's a 22 Magnum, and it's supposed to hold 30 rounds.
Yes.
So why, God, what's the point of having? First of all, the only point of having this gun is if you live in a free state and can actually utilize it to its capacity of 30 rounds. That's the only reason for owning this: the novelty of 30 rounds of 22 Magnum. And here we are in Canada. Ooh, I want a 10-round 22 Magnum plastic gun. No, I don't, though.
What if you want to target shoot at medium range and your 22 LR pistol is like rainbowing out there? Then maybe it's better. 40. Yeah, then I guess you could do that. True fact. All right. SFRC, they got a bunch of Zev stuff back in stock. Nice. So if you're looking for Zev Glock stuff to pimp your Glock, check out SFRC.
Bring back the solid brass magwell.
The most awesome gun store ever. Well, besides,
Calgary Shooting Center.
And also
DC Armory.
DC Armory.
Our sponsors. The most awesome gun store that doesn't sponsor us.
Hey, they sponsor us a lot because they've, helped us out with a lot of things like, bonus on loan. They've helped us. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, seriously, they coughed up prizes for our bonus not loan in a big way. They've been good to us.
They've been very, very good to us. Just saying.
Yep. Let's see. True North Arms is selling some overstock Magpul slings and some Maple Ridge stuff. There was one there was 4 ends that are closeouts, and then they had some uppers with the like 4 ends. Yeah, handguards. So if you're looking for a handguard, they had some for
the Maple Ridge handguards are the bomb. I've got 2 of them, and I'm just desperately waiting for them to get their AR-10 handguard out so I can get one for my stag.
Yep. Yeah, they got some for sale. Tenda is selling their Barnaul. And I haven't really been paying attention to the price of non-corrosive, like new commercial 7.62x39, but they've got some Barnaul stuff for $379 per 1,000, which is pretty cheap as far as like non-corrosive. Yep. Yeah. Western Metal has Magneto Speeds on sale. So if you're looking for a Magneto Speed, they've got those on sale.
What's a Magneto Speed?
Give me 1 second.
That's something that you're going to be using to test your 22 LR ammo.
There's a Magneto Speed. Which doesn't help people who are listening, but essentially it is it's a chronograph
onto your barrel.
Yeah.
that straps onto your barrel and detects the magnetic disturbance of the bullet going over top. Which
bullets aren't magnetic.
Okay, what you tell me how it works. You're a school teacher. How does this thing work? What kind of science pixie fairy dust do they got in this thing?
Who did you borrow that from?
Tommy Uzi.
Tommy Uzi.
Yeah. So the advantage to something like this is that if you go to an indoor range, you don't have to like futz around with trying to get a crony out in front of the gun. They're pretty compact. They like stick on the gun, so it's not like like the lab radar, which is a little bit bigger and needs a little bit more space, or the crony that you have to put in front and put bullets into. And yeah, so it's a very accurate way of doing that. There, that's what a shooting crony is. I will get a review of one up shortly. Yeah. Anyways, you got these things for sale. They're right around the $500 mark for the V3. There's the Sporter, which I think is around just under $300.
Okay.
Moving on. Did you guys know that Savage has a 64 takedown? I didn't know this.
Really?
Yeah. Trevor, you're still muted.
Unaware. Yeah, I was unaware.
Yeah, I didn't know that such a thing existed, but it does, and they're $329.
That's a good price for a takedown.
It's a good price for a takedown. I'm not a really big fan of the Savage 64. I just like the mag catch on it is silly, and I just don't like it.
Yep.
But it's cheap. This is the cheapest takedown semi-auto 22 you can get.
Ryan Holyoke just picked up a Savage 64 with a heavy barrel in like what looks like a Macmillan stock. Oh yeah,
accurate.
Amazing.
He's been showing his targets. It's yeah.
The awesome. Squire has one too. Same thing. Really nice, really accurate. But I'm with you, Adriel. The manual of arms and the whole mechanism and stuff.
Yeah. Anywho, they got International Shooting Supplies has those in their $329, and that's you're not going to get a Papoose or a 1022 takedown for that.
You're not.
No, not takedown.
Nope. Let's see. Last one. Al Flaherty's has Lake City 308 for $379 per 1,000. No, per 500. Per 500. Per 1,000, that'd be crazy for 308. Still quite a bit less than a buck around though, and that's for decent 308. So yeah, if you have a BCL or if you have a stag that's and you're looking for cheap food for it, there you go. All right, why don't we move on to the main topic? Thanks again, Doug and Monty, for coming on and letting us know all about adaptive shooting. Listener feedback. Listener feedback is... first, let's do the YouTube one. Have you guys been watching YouTube? Do we have any questions on there? It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet. I've been chatting on Chigo-tos.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry,
cool.
guys.
All right.
No, there hasn't been anything really.
Cool. I'll get on to listener feedback then. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. Follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Trevor, do you want to take this first one from James B?
Oh, God. All right. Sack on Fire Crew from James B, a.k.a. Ginger Snaps. The older you get, the more professional experience you get under your belt. The more you realize that everyone is faking it and everything is on the verge of falling apart.
It's true.
FYI, the fans, I just wanted to tell you that Trevor carries around more accessories than Jennifer Lopez. You know what this harkens back to?
What?
A time when what was that? McDirty? What was that guy who used to?
Yeah,
McDirt. Yeah, he used to write into Canadian Reload Radio all the time. This is basically the new that, only maybe worse, because at least McDirty was funny.
And this is less often.
Yeah.
McDirt was more often.
Yeah.
Kelly, did you want to take this next one from Phil?
Really? Oh, okay. So from Phil, hello. I was just listening to the first Slamfire podcast today and wanted to let you know how much it rocks. You did say rocks in capital letters, so I had to really say it.
Thank you.
I've been a shooter for over 50 years, as long as Trevor. Now I love our sport. I didn't compete any longer. I don't compete any longer as I'm a wheelchair. See, this is perfect. As I'm in a wheelchair and have a few limitations. So recreational shooting is my thing now. I shoot weekly at Urban Tactical in Brantford, Ontario. And I'm good friends with Canadian Gun Vault, Mark Morelli, who put me onto the podcast. I will be thanking him when I see him this weekend. I'm most grateful to people like you that are spreading the word about legal firearms ownership and our sport. Again, I'm so thankful for your podcast, and I wish I had known about you long ago. Great work and a fantastic interview with Mark. And he signs it off, Phil. So thank you, Phil. That was awesome. That was really, really nice. And it's perfect. You know, we're doing adaptive shooting. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect timing. All right. If you'd like to email the show, send us an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com.
Ginger Snap sent us another one.
I didn't.
We're going to skip it? I'd be happy if we skipped it.
No, let's put it in. I didn't have time to put it in.
All right, hold on. I'll go get it. From James Bork, Lipstick on a Pig. After the Norinco 1911 debacle, I never thought Trevor would go through it again. But here we go again, trading an AR-15 for, quotation marks, Parkerized Lee Enfield. Trevor's words, not mine. We all know Lee Enfields were not Parkerized. They were finished in Suncorite 259, and it's Lee Enfield, the ammunition, and it's a Lee Enfield. The ammunition costs more than the gun. Well, here we go again. I ask why, Trevor. Have you been eating the crayons again? Keep your pick in nice. James Bork.
I don't think that was what he was saying, really.
No, that's literally, I wrote what he, I'm sure that's not what he was saying, but he wrote the words, keep your pick in nice.
That's not what he was saying.
Yeah, no, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for reading that, Trevor. We're all grateful that you wrote that you read that email.
It as he wrote it. He's watching.
At no time throughout any of those incoherent ramblings did James come close to formulating what could be construed as a coherent thought. We're all dumber for having listened to that email. I award James no points, and may God have mercy on his soul.
Oh, man, you did that perfect.
Yeah.
You got it. All right. If you'd like to send an incoherent email to the show, send it to slamfireradio@gmail.com. And we'll butcher it on air for you, or read it maybe, or change it to how we see fit.
We'll shoot it with some freaking lasers.
Yeah, with lasers.
Lasers.
Podcast app reviews, none this week, but if you'd like to, head on over to iTunes or whatever podcasting app you listen to us on and give us a rating on there. Usually helps out with getting us more listeners and helping people find the show.
Exposure. Not like that time at the bus stop. A different kind of exposure.
Okay.
That time at the bus stop with all the kids that were driving by, and yeah. Shout out.
There was
Trevor.
James getting some exposure.
Getting some exposure. Giving some exposure.
Yeah.
Trevor, do you have any shout outs?
If I did, they'd be written down. Thank you for asking.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to ask you anyways. I guess next time I won't. And if you try to put anything in, I will not let you.
I will support that 1,000%.
I got a shout out to Mr. Uzi for the Magneto Speed and some ammo, and Tom O for the lab radar and ammo, because now I get to do this epic, massively huge test.
It's going to be awesome. You have to film the whole thing, 4 hours.
I'm going to fill a bucket with all the empty brass that's coming off this thing.
Spend time and money to find out things you already know.
Yep.
But sometimes someone's got to do it, because who's really done like an accuracy test of this scale? Hasn't
no one, because it doesn't matter. It's 22.
Well, I will do it. Damn it.
Adriel
Some people want to know. I want to know. I already know that the SK is going to be awesome in my rifle, though. So,
yeah.
It'd be fun. I'll get to shoot lots of 22. Kelly, how about you?
I just wanted to say thank you to Monty and Doug for coming on again. But I also wanted to say, Rob B, thanks for coming back and being a Patreon-y and, listening from down under.
Very cool.
That's it.
Patreon supporters, we have 87 of those. New Patreons, we have Sean H, who's sponsoring us for $2.23 or $2.23. Stephen A is sponsoring us, same caliber, kind of, in metric, 556. And Greg M, 22.33. That's 2233. Isn't that the stage 234 of the Maple Seed? 2233?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
And I sent him a message. I said, "You do know that's $22.33?" He goes, "Yeah, I know." I said,
"Per month."
That's good. I said, "Per month," and he goes, "Yeah, I know." I'm going, "Okay." I said, "Thank you very much."
Send him a shirt or a couple shirts.
You should. He
I'll
already
get
has
right
one,
on that.
I think I gave him one.
He'll get more. Maybe stuffing boxes full of shirts. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, head over to patreon.com/slamfireradio. We use it for not just shirts. We use it for hosting fees and domain fees and bandwidth and whatnot. And we use it for getting us to different events and better video equipment and audio and whatnot as well. So
yes.
If you'd like to help out, head on over to patreon.com/slamfireradio. And you don't have to do $22 a month. You could do like $1 a month or a couple bucks a month and just help us out. That's what the whole idea with Patreon is.
I upgraded this month to 308.
For us?
Yeah. I support us.
Okay, cool.
Why not?
All right. Please join one or more of our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. Right now, we're at 2,087 likes. And that's where we sometimes post the odd weird thing and chat and that kind of thing. Finally, good night.